Hello again. Today I want to talk about unnecessary stress and how you can avoid it. And the main thing you can do is say no. When you know your limits and you stick to them, you will be full of energy. If you are taking on more than you can handle, you will be quite surely running into a surefire recipe for stress. So make sure you set the limits and you stick to them. That doesn't mean that you never say yes. It only means that you know where to set your boundaries, that you can re-energize, recover, reduce your stress level, and be energetic for the work that has to be done. A second thing you can do is to avoid unnecessary stress, is avoiding people who stress you out. Don't be in a close relationship with people that have negative energy. These people are people who are talking negatively all day long, that see problems in situations where you need to find a solution, where they are seeing negative in every political, economical situation, and they don't look at the chances. Take control of your environment. You will realize that you can't control at some point, but take control as much as you are able to. For example, if you are in a stressful traffic situation and you have to take this route more than once, think of taking a longer but less traveled route, so you can cruise along. There is nobody driving tightly on your car, so without any distance in the back. They are not dangerously overtaking, so make sure you are taking control of that situation. If you find it unpleasant to go to the market because it stresses you, it is, so to say, another to-do on your list, then think about ordering your grocery shopping, for example, online. Have some friends who you can perhaps pay to bring the stuff home. You don't really have to do everything yourself. But if you are avoiding the supermarket because of anxiety, that is no good idea, because you are rewarding not to go to the supermarket. You are rewarding to avoid to face the situation. So do you see the difference? You have the anxiety on one side, and on the other side you've got the stress. And the stress we are trying to reduce, so we're looking for methods that we have to do less ourselves. When you are in anxiety, you are avoiding situations because you are afraid of them. And you have to learn to face these situations. So there is a very big difference between these two reasons why you are not attending a supermarket. Avoid hot button topics. If you get upset when somebody is talking about religion or politics, cross them off your conversation list. If somebody picks up a conversation with politics, you might switch the subject. Or you might tell this person you don't want to talk about it. It depends on the situation and how this person reacts when you say that. And you might know this person is not reacting to it, and that's a situation where you just switch the subject, or you turn around and go. Repeatedly argue about the same subject with some people. Stop bringing it up, or excuse yourself when it's the topic of the discussion. The trouble is, you might bring it up, and the other person doesn't really want to respond. I'm just thinking of, you have an interest to get something at work, and your supervisor doesn't want to listen to it or doesn't want to hear it. So don't make excuses why you are bringing it up again, because you could just be quiet and switch to another subject because he's not interested in it, or she. Pare down your to-do list. Analyze your schedule, your responsibility and daily tasks. If you have too much on your plate, distinguish between the shoulds and the musts. Drop tasks that aren't truly necessary to the bottom of the list, or eliminate them entirely. I always say distinguish between what is urgent and important and what is not urgent and important. Things that are urgent and important have to be done right now. And the things that are urgent but not that are important but not urgent are your reward. So when you have done parts of an urgent and important task, you can reward yourself that afterwards you are doing a task that is important to you. Do you understand the difference? Because urgent is often what we don't like. For example, doing our taxes, paying bills, etc. That's urgent and important. But it's not what we like. We don't want to spend money. But what is important to you is, for example, to prepare a presentation your heart wants to do. And you have, for example, the opportunity to present your opinion, your statement, and that's important. And to the second part of what I just mentioned, drop the task. These are the things that are urgent but not important, or not urgent and not important. I always say for not urgent and not important, that is the stuff for the bin, or if you really have to work on it, for a situation that you can solve between Christmas and New Year's Eve, because then you don't have anything else normally to do. So emails may be urgent but not important. So you can delegate those. You can think of them, doing them tomorrow, doing them in the afternoon when you are not really too good at concentrating. Important emails, of course, you might even answer in length in the morning. That depends. But I think it gives you an idea how to distinguish between the task you have to do. Yeah, alter the situation that is something you can do as well. You will not be able to alter everything, but we will come to that later. What you can do is express your feelings instead of bottling them up. If something or someone is bothering you, communicate your concerns in an open and respectful way. Try to get a conversation with this person. You will realise that sometimes it won't help. You are trying to find a way to talk to this person, and this person isn't open to it. So you have to bottle it up, so to say. But if you don't, or if you're not able to voice these feelings, make sure that resentment will not build up. I'll come to that in a moment. What you can do when you're not able to talk to somebody. Be willing to compromise. So talking to somebody who is open, of course, it will help if both sides are willing to compromise. If you are willing to compromise and the other person isn't, think about whether you really want to go on talking with this person. The thing is, you can ask somebody to change their behaviour, but make sure that you are willing to change your behaviour as well. And at a later stage, we will find out for certain you can always change your behaviour, but you can't ask the other person to change his or hers. But if you're both willing to compromise and to bend at least a little bit, it'll have a good chance, the situation, to finding a happy middle ground. Be more assertive. Don't take a back seat in your life. Deal with problems head on. So to say, roll up your sleeves and get things done. Doing the best to anticipate and prevent these stressful situations, because you're going to be proactive. You have been passive in the past and you didn't really know what can I do. And now sit down, find solutions and start acting. Set boundaries, what we had before. For example, when your chatty roommate comes home, say immediately that you've only got 5 minutes to listen to because you want to do something else. And another thing is how you can alter a situation, find your balance. All work and no play is definitely a recipe for a burnout. Balance between work and family life, social activities and solidarity pursuits, daily responsibilities and downtime. And make sure you put your devices aside before you go to sleep and read a book of paper, listen to a meditation or to an audible. So the next thing is accept the things you cannot change. We always have that in our lives, everybody. We can't change everything. So don't try to control the uncontrollable. Many things in your life are beyond your control, particularly the behaviour of other people. And that's what I mentioned before. You always can change your behaviour, but you can't expect the other person to change. So focus on the things you can control. Look at the upside. When facing major challenges, try to look at them as an opportunity for personal growth. Look at the long-term consequences. The short-term consequences are often negative in the long run, but the long-term consequences will help you to stay healthy. For example, if you drink in the evenings to calm down, you of course calm down for the moment, but on the long run, if you're not careful, you might end up being an alcoholic. So that wasn't really healthy. But if you start to run, for example, to calm down, it is healthy. Your heart will be strengthened, your body will learn to do endurance running or endurance sport, and it'll calm you down. And you will notice when you run, at first you think about the challenges, then you find solutions, and all of a sudden your brain gets quiet and you just look into the open fields, whatever your surrounding is like, and you don't think about it anymore, what bothered you. So think on the upside and of the long consequences, just to make sure these will be positive. Learn to forgive. Accept the fact that we all live an imperfect life, or that we all live in an imperfect world, and then people are prone to make mistakes. So let your anger and resentments go. Free yourself from negative energy by forgiving and moving on. I mentioned that before. Get rid of the negative people. Surround yourself with positive people, with people who look into the future, who want to grow personally, and then you will be a lot happier. Share your feelings. Expressing what you're going through can be very cathartic, even if there's nothing you can do to alter the stressful situation. So that's what I mentioned before. It can really help to talk to somebody if the other person which is involved doesn't want to change, doesn't want to have a communication with you or a conversation. Look for somebody where you can talk about what's going on. For example, a trusted friend, or make an appointment with a therapist. Now we've discussed that you accept the things you cannot change, but you are able to adapt to the stressor. What I mentioned before, it is you who can change, and that's where we go in, or dive into now. You could reframe your problems. Try to view stressful situations from a more positive perspective. So look at the consequences. Rather than fuming about a traffic jam, look at it as an opportunity to pause and regroup. Listen to your favorite meditation, audible, radio station, or just enjoy some alone time. Look at the bigger picture. Take perspective of the stressful situation. Ask yourself how important it will be in the long run. So, what would it be like in a month, in a year? Is it really worth getting upset over? If the answer is no, focus your time and energy elsewise. So, is something that important to stress yourself out that you would really do it again in a year's time? Or is it in a year you think, oh gosh, what an idiot have I been to stress it myself about something unimportant, something small that is not worth stressing about? So think about it from the big picture, or look at the big picture. Adjust your standards. We might have, or you might have, very high expectations towards yourself. You want everything to be perfect. And that is a major source of avoidable stress. Stop setting yourself up for failure by demanding perfection. Are you a perfectionist? So learn to say, I don't have to bring 100%. 80% are fine as well. And so to say, if possible, put 20% of effort in your work and get 80% of the result. So set reasonable standards to yourself and others, and learn to be okay with good enough. Practice gratitude. When stress is getting you down, take a moment to reflect on all the things you appreciate in your life. Your own positive qualities and gifts. Have a look at those. I just wanted to say something else as well. Successful people write a gratitude journal, and every day they put in at least 5 things that they are grateful for. And when you train that, you will see that you look at life at a very much more positive angle. And to look at your own positive qualities and gifts will take out the negative and the self-esteem or self-confidence that you lack at the moment. And that is actually not only that you have to adapt to the stressor, but one thing where you might have an opportunity to reflect where you stand right now. And when you realize you are not giving the best of your positive qualities because they are not appreciated, and you are not living your gifts, think whether you might have to change in some sort or another.